There obviously could be a winner. There could be a loser. If it's a draw, let's say 269, it goes to the House of Representatives. So somebody would be a winner, right?
You're right. There is going to be a winner, and there's going to be a peaceful transition of power. And I think that is what we all wish for. I think Mr. Trump has run a great campaign. And, Wolf, if you were out with me around the country in what many on each of the coasts term flyover territory, you would see people are still talking about how much we need change. The presentation of these emails, Mrs. Clinton, some of the things that she's been paid for, the speeches, some of the reflection of attitudes has not served her campaign well. And as I'm talking to people, there are some people who say, you know, I don't like the pay to play. I don't like the way that they have gotten in here and tried to build wealth off of peddling influence. And because of that, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because he hasn't been a part of any of that in Washington, and he probably does know how to fix the system.
All right. But is it appropriate, though, and I know you have strong views on this, for Donald Trump to say he will not necessarily accept the election results if he loses?
I think Donald Trump, like everybody else who runs for election, you get to that night and you look at what comes up on the board and you know that you have either won or lost. There are every once in a while an election that gets thrown into a recount, and that is something that you trust the election officials. And you know, Wolf, one of the things I think we forget in this is elections are not handled by a federal commission. They are handled by our local election commissions and our state, overseen by our state election commissions. That's the way we need to see it. The reason we know about...
Why does he keep saying the system is rigged then?
I think what you are hearing and people are hearing, and the reason you hear people say that from time to time is because they hear about people who have tried to fraudulently register or election commissioners who are doing their job, and they pull people out of the system because they're not qualified to vote. They're maybe in the country illegally and they're inappropriately registered, or someone is voting for someone who is deceased, or you hear about the bundling of ballots.
There are problems. Obviously, there are some problems out there, yes. But you don't believe the election system here in the United States, that our democracy is rigged, do you?
Well, we know that because election commissioners are doing their job, that's the way we know about this. And I served on an election commission in my home county, Williamson County, Tennessee. And I know what goes in by those volunteers that serve on those election boards, the effort that goes into making certain that those are fair elections. And when you serve in that capacity, you have a great appreciation for the effort that goes into cleaning up those voter rolls, to making certain that the volunteers who are working those elections on election day
so basically
have
you're saying this,
information into them.
What I hear you saying, Congresswoman, and we got to take a break, but what I hear you saying is the system works, even though there are occasionally some problems. Where you are, the system works. It is not rigged.
I have great confidence in the way the system in Tennessee works.